Mina Kimes, NFL analyst for the Mothership, senior writer, podcast host, TV contributor, all-around good person. 4 Eastern on ESPN. You can watch NFL Live with her, with Dan Orlovsky, Marcus Spears, Laura Rutledge, Ryan Clark, and Keyshawn Johnson. And Mina Kimes joins us on the program. Mina, best team in the AFC is who right now?
The Buffalo Bills, unless something crazy happens tonight. I'm riding with Buffalo. And it's complicated. There's so much parity around the NFL right now. But they look like the most complete team.
Well, I was wondering about the Ravens, of what they're doing, not having, any running backs there, what they did against the Chargers. And I know we always have this referendum after every game. It feels like we know the team's either good or not. But where do the Ravens sort of fit in all of this?
I've got them second, and I'm so glad you asked about the Ravens in particular because I just spent the morning rewatching their defense. That was by far the best game they've put together on that side of the ball. And, they've struggled with some injuries. Obviously, losing Marcus Peters early in the season was brutal. In fact, they're one of the most injured teams in the league in terms of the players on IR. But you finally saw what a complete effort could look like. Really, they won in all three phases. Getting Deshaun Elliott back, the safety was huge. Dan, that might be the worst game I've ever seen Justin Herbert play as a pro, and I've watched all of them. And a lot of it had to do with the game plan put together by Wink Martindale, the Ravens defensive coordinator. I mean, he had no idea where the pressure was coming from on third down. And watching them, we know what Lamar can do, right? We know he can put the team on his back. But watching them yesterday against L.A., I felt like for the first time, this team can actually win a Super Bowl.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I felt it. I feel it. Do you disagree? There's so much disbelief in your voice just now.
Oh, I don't know. I think sometimes it's, it's like the declaration last week was Justin Herbert. I'd take Justin Herbert over Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, where did that come from? We have these statements sometimes, and I just go, wow, that might come back and haunt you. I think Lamar, what he's doing as far as value goes, is right up there with Kyler Murray. He might not have the numbers, the pretty numbers there, but I'm with you on that team, that coach, and what they did defensively was pretty impressive. But let me go back to Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. Are you on that hill? Are you going to die on that hill?
No.
That Justin Herbert?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I didn't know that. I believe you when you say that's the hill people are dying on because we're such prisoners of the moment and coming off of. It's just been such a wonky season with the Chiefs, and a lot of that doesn't have to do with Patrick Mahomes. Some of it does. He made a pretty maybe the most boneheaded mistake he's ever made yesterday. But you got to look at the body of work, right? I mean, part of the reason I'm so confident about Lamar and the Ravens is at this point, the dude's been in the league for a few years, right? We had the MVP season that everyone seems to have collectively forgotten where he was excellent throwing the ball. Whereas, again, you're doing Herbert versus Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes, yes, he's had some ups and downs this year. Yes, the defense is terrible. Yes, he's made some weird interceptions and uncharacteristically, pressing type throws. But you can't compare Herbert to him yet after such a small sample size.
5 teams are 5-1 or better in the NFC. So Cards, Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, Rams. They went 5-0 in Week 6. They won their games by an average of 14 points per game. If we were going to rank these teams, because we always love rankings, give me 1 through 5 with those teams.
Oh Lord. Okay, so okay. There's 5 in the NFC. Oh yeah, because the Rams. Okay, so are we ranking now or come January?
January.
Oh God, you got me. Okay. So now everyone's going to get mad at me because I'm not going to have the Cardinals number 1. They're obviously number 1 now. If you get to 6-0, I don't care how you got it. Greg Joseph missed field goals and chaos and all of that and weird kick sixes. You're 6-0. However, I'm going to give you a rankings in January, and you can come check back with me.
Okay.
I'm going Bucks number 1.
All right.
I'm going Cardinals number 2.
Are you
Cowboys
sure you
3.
believe that? Do you believe that?
I just don't want people to yell at me. Okay, so here's the thing about the Cardinals. Let me tell you why I have Cardinals skepticism, even though I think Kyler Murray is playing out of it. He's in God mode. I was really hoping yesterday we would get to see this defense tested against a violent running game because I believe that is the primary weakness of this team. Unfortunately, Cleveland rolls in with backup tackles and no Nick Chubb, so that hypothesis is not tested. And really, you can kind of throw out the defensive performance to some degree. What Kyler did in offense still stands. I'm very, very intrigued by Cardinals-Packers in a couple of weeks because I think that's going to be – I know the Cardinals blew the Rams out of the water. It was kind of a weird game that got away from the Rams early. But Packers, I think, have the sort of running game that can give the Cardinals the business. And I still don't trust Cliff Kingsbury in terms of game management. I mean, it's incredible they play pretty well without him, but I just don't trust him, particularly compared to some of the other coaches at the top of the NFC, non-Mike McCarthy division.
Are you all in on the Cowboys?
No, because of the aforementioned Mike McCarthy aspect, I am not. I think the Cowboys have the best offense in the NFL. I think they are a buzzsaw. I think they can beat you a million different ways. You see that, whether it was the run game the previous 2 weeks. Yesterday it was the pass because New England was so determined to stop the run. But I think this is maybe above average defense. Now, that said, I don't think we got more parity in the NFL this year than ever before. So there's no steamroller of a team that makes me question the Cowboys. I just don't think they're perfect. I don't think they're balanced to the degree that people seem to think they are.
I know the Rams won a scrimmage yesterday with the Giants, but
True.
I'm not sure. Like, what's the identity of this team?
Explosive offense with a little bit of inconsistency sprinkled in for Matt Stafford, which you kind of see pop up as a reminder that, oh, yeah, he's still Matt Stafford. And then defensively, two of the best players of their generation and some weaknesses elsewhere throughout. Actually not too dissimilar from the Packers to that extent with Jair Alexander out. But you are seeing a few holes in this Rams defense, granted not against the Giants, that the Cardinals really expose, where you can attack their linebackers and all of the DBs not named Jalen Ramsey.
Who will be the all-pro quarterback in the NFC this year? Brady, Stafford, Prescott, Murray, Rodgers, other?
I'm going Dak Prescott there. It's really, really hard since they're all in the same conference as you just described, but it's funny because Dak's not my MVP. And when I say my MVP, I think of you it the way that you do, Dan, where I'm looking at actual value to the team, which is why I'm rolling with Lamar. But I think Dak is not only playing at an extraordinarily high level, he's part of an offense in terms of the line, the skill players. By the way, Michael Gallup's going to come back at some point, and then a play caller that's going to ensure he has this level of success for the rest of the season.
Talking to Mina Kimes, the analyst, senior writer, podcast host, TV contributor for the Mothership. What was your Super Bowl pick, and do you want a do-over?
I think I had the Bucks Chiefs, really original, right? And right now, I'll go Bucks Bills.
Okay.
Half do-over.
So that means the Bills will lose tonight.
If the Bills lose tonight, who's producing this? Can you go and delete the sort of the archives? And I mean, I'd be really shocked. And if they do lose tonight, by the way, the AFC is total chaos, right? I mean, we're all kind of coming out of last week saying, okay, this looks like an actual balanced team. We know what they can do on offense in terms of their firepower, but the defense was untested going into last week. They played a cupcake schedule. The pass rushers look great. We know how good the safeties are and Tre'Davious White. And suddenly, I think that those questions have evaporated. If they lose to the Titans, then I don't know what to believe anymore. My entire belief system will be thrown into question.
You tweeted this out last year, Tom Brady, 35th in passer rating when pressured. This year, he's second. How do you explain that?
Little chaos bomb. It's complicated because if it was just this year versus last year, I would say it's mostly scheme, comfort within the offense, right? And I think that does explain a lot of it. But as you guys remember, I'm sure, locally, Tom Brady also struggled against pressure in his final years in New England, too. Yeah. A lot of that had to do with the skill players and their inability to separate. I think that's an important part of explaining why. But the dude is playing the best football he's played in years at the moment, and it seems like a perfect storm of reasons ranging from scheme to the personnel around him to the man himself.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand why he would walk away, and the only thing I could think of was that he comes to the realization about missing out on things at home. Because other than that, it's not like he was fast enough to slow down. And if he still has a good arm, good protection, he likes the coach, likes the system, likes the weather, got some skill position players. Why would Tom Brady walk away?
I always thought Brady would walk away because he was tired of getting hit. Maybe that's a very normie way to look at it, where you kind of put yourself into the shoes of the man who's accomplished everything and feats that will probably never be matched, right? But I thought, man, I'm younger than Tom Brady, but even me, if I stub my toe in the corner of the bed, the day is over. I'm watching him get hit in the pocket. I'm like, he don't want to do this anymore. And then the statistic you just read out loud, well, he's throwing pearls while he's getting hit this year. And that is different, Dan, from the previous 2 years. And Seth Wickersham, who I'm sure you've had on your show, he's got this new book on the Pats, right? He was telling me the other day that Brady practices taking sacks, which is true sicko behavior, explains the greatness. But watching him this year, he really, even when he's getting hit, there's sort of like an elegance to it, an ability to rip off these throws that, again, makes me agree with you. I really don't understand why he'll walk away at this point, given not only the level of football he's playing, but the nature of it.
Good luck to your Bills tonight, Mina. Great to talk to you again.
Oh, prayers up. Bye, guys.
Mina Kimes, ESPN NFL analyst, senior writer, podcast host, TV contributor.